So we've done every single stat of how to make yourself as overpowered as early as humanly possible in Elden Ring, but I forgot one. I was looking through my comments and somebody asked, where's the Arcane build? How can I become overpowered early with using Arcane? So this is that build. It's a really fun build. You are going to do a ton of damage. The hemorrhage that you are going to take off bosses is going to be absolutely incredible. So I'm really excited for you to jump into it with me. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into the video. So when choosing your starting class for Elden Ring in this playthrough, you're going to be choosing the Bandit, as it's going to have 14 Arcane, which is the highest Arcane scaling out of any starting class. After you choose your starting class, go ahead and name your character, and then you can choose the Golden Seed for your Keepsake, as it's going to give you an extra flask, allowing you to have more healing at the start of the game. As any run starts off, you're going to start at the Chapel of Anticipation, and you're going to run through all the way until you get to the Grafted Scion, and then go ahead and jump over the edge, as that's going to start your trip into Limgrave. You'll find yourself gathering your flasks as soon as you hit Limgrave, and you're going to make your way through grabbing all the grace sites until you open the double doors that are going to lead you out into Limgrave proper. The goal here, as with many other runs that you've seen me do so far, is to grab the 3 grace sites as fast as possible. We're going to be heading from the first step all the way up until the Church of Ella. Also grab the smithing stone that's sitting right there on the anvil while you're here. Then you're going to continue all the way up until you get to the Gatefront site of Grace. You're going to rest at that Gatefront site of Grace, and you're going to talk to Melina there, and she is going to give you Torrent. After you've acquired Torrent, you're going to head into the Gatefront ruins, into the underground staircase, where you will open up a chest and receive the Wetblade so you can put Ashes of War on your weapon. After receiving the Wetblade, you're going to head back to the first step site of Grace and run directly behind the tomb, where there's going to be a wind geyser. Take that wind geyser all the way down to the bottom, and on the left there's going to be an item. That's going to be your gold pickled fowl foot, which is going to allow us to get more runes from the dragon that we're going to kill here in a minute. You're then going to head back to the Gatefront site of Grace, and you're going to run up the road until you get to the Stormhill shack. Grab the site of Grace and the Stonesword key that is sitting there on one of the ledges near the house, and then you're going to mount up again and head all the way east. But before you go over the bridge, you're going to take a left and go to the Death Touch Catacombs. We're not going to kill anything here, but our sword that we're going to be using is here, and that is the Uchi Katana. We're going to be running through the dungeon, running past everything, grabbing the Uchi Katana, and then you can just run right back out and continue on your way, going over the bridge as you would, going all the way to the east side of Limgrave. We're going to be heading to Summonwater Village, where you can use the Stonesword key that you just picked up at the Stormhill shack to get our very first talisman. With the katana and the particular build we're going with, we're going to need a little bit of extra stamina, so the green turtle talisman is perfect for us, and we're going to go ahead and pick that up after using the Stonesword key, running down the stairs, and inside of that chest is going to be that green turtle talisman. So from Summonwater Village, we're going to head directly south, and we will continue south for a very long time. But first, we need to go to the Third Church of Marika and go ahead and grab our Flask of Wondrous Physic. As you head south from Summonwater Village, you're going to find a bunch of cliffs. There are a few tombstones that you can jump down, or some cliffs that are not going to kill you when you jump off of them. Go ahead and make your way down like I'm showing you, and then you can go to the Third Church of Marika to grab your Flask of Wondrous Physic. After grabbing your Flask of Wondrous Physic, we do need our first tier to fill it with, so we are going to head into the Mistwood and go to the Minor Erdtree. As soon as you get to the Minor Erdtree, you're going to find a very small altar, and within that altar is going to be the Greenspill Crystal tier, which is going to add 15% more stamina. So on top of the green turtle talisman giving us extra stamina recovery, we're also going to have a bigger pool of stamina in general, so our stamina will be good to go for the beginning of the game. Now, continuing from the Minor Erdtree in the Mistwood, you're going to go south all the way until you get to Fort Height. You can dodge all of the soldiers that are there and run right into the front door. You may have to kill a few of the minor enemies, but that's not a big deal. Go to the very top, and there's going to be a knight there who's going to drop Bloody Slash when he dies. Since you have the bandit class and you have a buckler, you're going to be able to parry him incredibly easily. So go ahead, parry him twice, kill him, grab the Bloody Slash, and then you'll have the Ash of War for our Uchi Katana. You're then going to go up the ladder to the very tallest tower and grab the Dectus Medallion while you're here, because you will need that later on in your playthrough. Now at this point, you're going to head back to the Third Church of Marika, and you are going to take the portal directly behind the church. This is going to teleport you all the way to the east side of Caelid, where you will then start the very long and arduous trek down to Fort Faroth. As you go towards Fort Faroth, you're going to be going over a bridge. You'll run right past a dragon, and then past that is going to be an Erdtree. You're going to need to run to the right side of the Erdtree as to not aggro the Erdtree avatar, and then there's going to be a wind geyser right behind that tree. Take the wind geyser up, and it will dump you right out at Fort Faroth. where you can then snag the Grace, and then we will start to get all the runes we need for this particular start of the game. Now at this point in our playthrough, you're going to spend about 4.5 to 5 minutes here slashing at the dragon with the Great Knife, as it already has blood loss buildup already on the weapon. So go ahead and slash at him over and over and over again, and as he gets lower and lower, where you're taking those massive chunks of damage off with blood loss, go ahead and use your gold pickled foul foot. This is going to allow you to get 30% more runes for 3 minutes, so if you use it right before the dragon dies, you're going to get that extra 30% runes, and then right before you see the dragon start to do the death animation and he has very little health left, go ahead and get onto Torrent and start slashing at the dragon while you're on Torrent's back. The second you see the death animation, sprint back to the site of Grace, rest at the site of Grace, and if you get back fast enough, you can turn around and the dragon will still be there, and you can farm him infinitely for a ton of runes. So if you want to continue to get runes after I leave this location, you can definitely do that, and that is how. We're then going to go ahead and level up with the runes that we just got from the dragon. So you're going to want a total of 15 Vigor, 11 Strength to wield the Uchigatana, 15 Dexterity to also wield the Uchigatana, and then you're going to put the rest in Arcane, as we want our Bloody Slash to hit super hard and do a ton of blood loss. Now while we're here at Fort Faroth, we might as well run into the fort and run past everything you see until you can climb up a ladder, at which point at the top of that ladder is going to be your second Dectus Medallion. We'll go ahead and grab that while we're here, and then run along the route that I'm showing you, drop down into the hole, dodge a few rats, and you will jump down into a deeper hole, allowing yourself to get the Radagon Sorseal. This is going to give you 20 levels in stats, an extra 5 Vigor, Endurance, Strength, and Dexterity, so with this equipped, we will be good to go. However, you do need to understand you are going to take more damage using this, so if you want to play it safe and just use the Green Turtle Talisman, you can do that, but if not, and you want the extra levels and more damage, this is definitely the Talisman you want to use at the beginning of the game. Now, we need to do one more thing before we head into Liurnia of the Lakes, and that is going to be going to the Limgrave Tunnels to gather all the smithing stones deep within that dungeon. You can get smithing stones from the miners, you can find them on the walls, you can pretty much get smithing stones from killing everything in here, so I would go ahead and do that, so by the time we do have to defeat Margot the Fell Omen, you are going to have a weapon that is a little bit leveled up. Now the very last thing we need to do here is go into Liurnia of the Lakes to pick up the Dexterity Not Crystal tier. This tier is going to give us plus 10 Dexterity anytime our flask is used, which is a massive damage spike on our end. So you're going to head up to the Stormhill Shack site of Grace and follow the route around Stormvale Castle all the way until you get to Liurnia of the Lakes. You're going to head towards the Boil Prawn Shack, which is in South Liurnia of the Lakes, right in the middle here on the map. The Dexterity Not Crystal tier is located on a very small island a little bit southwest of the Boil Prawn Shack, and it's not guarded at all, so you can run up, grab the tier, and then head directly to Round Table Hold, because Melina would have brought you here once already, and you can go ahead and level up your weapon as much as you can. After you do that, you're going to head back to the Stormhill Shack site of Grace and run into Stormvale Castle to fight Margot the Fell Omen. Now when fighting Margot, you want to be very aggressive because you're trying to build up that blood loss as fast as possible. And since we're going arcane, you need to be hitting your target constantly in order to get those massive chunks of blood loss to proc for you. So be very aggressive with him, use Bloody Slash when there's windows of opportunity, and you will take massive chunks of his health off with all the hemorrhage that you're going to proc during this fight. After the fight is over, you'll be able to grab your second Talisman slot, and then you will be left with enough runes to go into Vigor one more time, so you'll have 16 Vigor, 11 Mind, 10 Endurance, 11 Strength, 15 Dexterity, 9 Intelligence, 8 Faith, and 30 Arcane. So after you get to this point, you're going to have a level 3 Uchigatana, you're also going to have the Radagon Sorseal, the Green Turtle Talisman, the Greenspill Crystal tier, and the Dexterity Not Crystal tier, providing you with an excellent Arcane build to get the game started, and understand that you also have not gone through any of Limgrave pretty much, or any of Weeping Peninsula in terms of boss kills. So at this point, you start the game, go back through, annihilate everybody in those places, and by that time, you will have enough runes to make Caelid and Liurnia of the Lakes very, very easy. And guys, that is it for our overpowered series. We've done every single overpowered early that I could possibly think of. We've done Strength, Faith, Dexterity, Arcane, Intelligence. We've done them all. So if there's one that I have missed, I don't think I have, but leave it down in the comments below. I appreciate you guys a ton. Thank you so much for watching this far into the video. This whole route should take you a little over an hour and 15 minutes or so, but definitely a fun build to use. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it. Feel free to subscribe and hit the bell notification on your way out. It does a long way for the channel. And until next time, stay safe, enjoy the game, and I'll see you in the next one.